Sproutlet Stories. A Sproutlet Story Royal Adventure. Once a sprout a time, Princess Chica and Lady Caitlin were on a special quest to a faraway castle to save a lonely dragon. Before they began their journey, they knew they had to put on their lucky sunglasses. To get to the castle, Chica and Caitlin decided to gallop on horses. Once they arrived at the castle, they found the way blocked by a grumpy wizard. In order to pass him, they had to make him smile by making a funny face. Poof! The lonely dragon magically appeared. To celebrate with the dragon, they gave a hug. They all had fun and played together for the rest of the day. The end. Great story! A Sproutlet Story Western Adventure. Once a sprout a time in the wild, wild west, Cowboy Tim and Cowgirl Chica worked hard on their ranch. They were taking care of pigs. After a long morning of caring for their herd of pigs, Tim and Chica decided to take a break and have a snack. While they enjoyed their break, the herd escaped out of the pen. Tim and Chica needed to find the herd of pigs. In order to search more quickly across the fields, they used speedy running shoes. During their search, they noticed storm clouds. All of a sudden, it began sprinkles. After the storm finally cleared, they discovered their pigs, and they returned them safely to the ranch. To celebrate, they sang an old campfire tune. The end. Now that's what I call an adventure. A Sproutlet Story pirate adventure. Once upon a time, Captain Chica and Pirate Emily were searching for buried treasure. "We have to look for the X marks the spot," said Emily. They knew they could find it by using their trusty hound dog. Emily and Chica traveled to the treasure by boogieing on a boat. Once they finally reached the X marks the spot, they discovered a grumpy crab that was guarding the treasure. They cheered up the crab by offering him a plate of snacks. The crab showed them the treasure. When they opened the chest, they discovered a banana. Pirate Emily and Captain Chica were so happy to find the treasure that they did a victory dance. Emily and Chica sailed off on the seas as happy pirates. The end. That was amazing. Way to go. A Sproutlet Story Undersea Adventure. Once a sprout a time, Carly and Chica were on an underwater adventure to the bottom of the ocean. They planned to take part in whale chorus concert. In order to get there, they decided to follow jellyfish, But suddenly, Carly and Chica found themselves caught in octopus ink. They swam as hard as they could and finally found their way out. Now they were lost, but they asked a friendly sea star for directions. Chica and Carly swam in the right direction until they finally arrived. They started the event by dressing up. Suddenly, they noticed their scuba tanks were almost out of air. Before they headed back up to land for air, took a photograph. The end. A Sproutlet Story space adventure. Once a sprout at a time, Astronaut Chica and Astronaut Tim received an invitation to attend a birthday party. In order to get to the party, they remembered they would need to fly to the faraway planet of ice cream. Chica and Tim needed to power up their jetpacks, which only turned on by stretching. Three, 2, 1, blast off! They flew through space until they landed on the planet of ice cream. After they arrived, they were joined by their friend, Ear of Corn. Their friend, the robot, showed them the way to the party. To enter, they each had to perform the special secret password by roaring like a dinosaur. Hooray! They made it! Astronaut Chica and Astronaut Tim had fun with their friend all day long. The end. That was amazing. That was amazing. That was amazing.